The Richest Man in Babylon, a comprehensive summary and practical guide. The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason is a classic personal finance book that teaches timeless money principles through simple parables set in ancient Babylon, primarily through the teachings of Arkad, a once poor scribe who becomes the city's wealthiest man. The book's core frameworks are the 7 cures for a lean purse, how to build wealth, and the 5 laws of gold, how to keep and grow wealth, with recurring themes like paying yourself first, living below your means, compounding, prudent risk-taking, and continually improving earning power. Below is a clear, practical summary with examples and step-by-step applications for modern life. What the book is about. The work is a collection of parables originally published as pamphlets in the 1920s and later compiled into a book in 1926. The central figure, Arkad, shares habits that transformed him from a scribe to Babylon's richest man, advising friends and fellow citizens on the predictable path from scarcity to abundance. Much of the book orbits 2 core frameworks, the 7 cures for a lean purse and the 5 laws of gold. The most famous principle is, pay yourself first, save at least 10% of all income before spending anything else. The 7 cures for a lean purse. The 7 cures are Arkad's step-by-step method to go from empty pockets to growing wealth. Start thy purse to fattening action. Save at least 10% of every dollar earned, automatically and consistently. Example, if monthly income is $3,000, route $300 to savings on payday before bills. Why it matters, this creates the seed capital for investing and builds the discipline of self-payment, control thy expenditures action, distinguish needs from wants, cap lifestyle creep, and build a simple budget that fits within 90% or less of income. Example, track a month of spending. Cut subscriptions and impulse buys so that savings stay automatic and untouched. Why it matters, necessary expenses tend to expand to meet income unless actively constrained. Make thy gold multiply action, invest savings so money earns money, reinvest returns for compounding. Example, contribute to diversified index funds, reinvest dividends, or buy cash flowing assets, avoid idle cash. Why it matters, compounding builds wealth faster than saving alone. Guard thy treasures from loss action, avoid get-rich-quick schemes and unvetted risks, seek expert counsel, understand investments before committing. Example, don't chase high-yield pitches without transparency, perform due diligence, diversify. Why it matters, the penalty of risk is loss, prudence preserves capital for compounding, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment action, favor owning a home prudently if it strengthens long-term finances, view housing within total plan. Example, buy when stable, with conservative mortgage terms, consider house hacking to lower net housing cost. Why it matters, ownership can channel payments into equity, however, it must align with affordability and goals, ensure a future income action, build retirement streams and protections for family, pensions, investments, insurance, and estate planning. Example, contribute to retirement accounts, keep an emergency fund, consider term life insurance and disability coverage. Why it matters, planning safeguards later years and dependents, reducing future financial fragility, increase thy ability to earn action, continuously improve skills, knowledge, and work ethic to lift earning power and investment judgment. Example, take courses, seek promotions, build side income, and learn about finance and markets. Why it matters, higher ability brings higher income and wiser decisions, accelerating wealth building. The 5 laws of gold. These laws explain how money behaves and what conduct attracts or repels it. Law 1. Gold comes easily and in increasing quantity to those who save at least 1/10 of their earnings. Law 2. Gold labors diligently and multiplies for the wise owner who invests it prudently. Law 3. Gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner who invests under wise counsel. Law 4. Gold slips away from those who invest in ventures they do not understand or that are not approved by those skilled in its keep. Law 5. Gold flees the person who seeks impossible earnings, follows the advice of tricksters, or trusts their own inexperience and romantic desires for quick riches. Practically, these laws reinforce the core habits, consistent saving, patient investing, prudent counsel, and rejecting speculation. Key parables and their lessons. Arkad's rise. Arkad learns from the wealthy Algamish that a portion of all income must be kept, invested, and guarded, lessons he compounds into great wealth. The gold lender of Babylon, Mathan and Rodan, teaches lending prudently, insisting on collateral and ability to repay, and avoiding emotional borrowers. The Camel Trader of Babylon, Dabasir, a story of escaping debt through resolve, a clear plan, and disciplined repayment aided by living within strict limits. The Clay Tablets from Babylon, Dabasir's tablets outline a plan: save 10%, live on 70%, and allocate the remaining 20% to systematically repay debts until cleared. These narratives turn abstract finance into simple, memorable rules and behaviors that anyone can apply. How to apply the principles today. Automate paying yourself first, move 10% or more to savings, investments on payday. Build a lean budget, cap total spending at is less than or equal to 90% of income, aggressively cut low-value expenses. Put money to work, favor diversified, understandable investments, reinvest earnings, avoid idle cash balances. Protect your capital, vet opportunities, diversify, avoid high-pressure or opaque deals, consult credible experts. Make housing a tool. If buying, do it prudently with an eye on total financial health, not prestige. Plan for later life, contribute to retirement accounts, maintain an emergency fund, and use insurance where appropriate. Grow earning power, upskill, negotiate, and build additional income streams. Keep learning about money. Modern restatements of the book's lessons. Contemporary summaries and explainers echo the same timeless guidance: save first, control spending, invest wisely, protect your wealth, and continually improve your skills. These align with modern personal finance concepts like paying yourself first, budgeting, compounding, diversification, and human capital development. Popular distillations emphasize the 10% saving rule, avoiding confusion between wants and needs, compounding returns, prudent risk control, and self-improvement. The enduring appeal stems from the parable's clarity and the universality of the behaviors they teach, habits that remain effective regardless of era or income level. Bottom line, The Richest Man in Babylon is a practical blueprint disguised as stories: set aside at least 10%, live below means, invest prudently, safeguard capital, prepare for the future, and keep sharpening earning power. Followed consistently, these principles create a reliable path from scarcity to security to wealth, without relying on luck or speculation. Start small but start now. Consistency matters more than intensity. Keep investments understandable and boring. Let compounding do the heavy lifting. Treat financial growth as a craft. Practice, patience, and judgment improve results over time. Modern applications of Babylonian wealth principles. The core ideas from The Richest Man in Babylon translate cleanly into today's world: automate saving, live below means, invest prudently for compounding, protect capital, plan for the future, and continually grow earning power. Below are practical, modern ways to apply the 7 cures and 5 laws of gold with concrete steps and tools. 1. Pay yourself first. Save is greater than or equal to 10%, automate it. Set an automatic transfer of at least 10% of every paycheck into a separate savings or investment account before any spending, increasing the rate as income grows. Begin small if needed, even $50 per month, and scale up. The key is consistency and automation to build momentum. Use separate buckets for goals, emergency fund, retirement, and near-term priorities to prevent commingling and impulse use. 2. Control expenditures. Cap lifestyle creep. Build a 90% or less spending plan. Track a month of expenses, then cut low-value categories to ensure the first 10% is always saved. Practice a 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases and audit subscriptions quarterly to curb lifestyle inflation amplified by online shopping and social media. Align spending with values, prioritize essentials and long-term goals over status-driven consumption. 3. Make your money multiply. Invest for compounding. Move beyond idle cash. Channel savings into diversified assets, broad index funds, high-quality bonds, or income-producing real estate that compound over time. Reinvest dividends, interest automatically, and favor simple, low-cost strategies rather than complex or speculative ones. Start small and learn as you go. Inflation erodes idle cash, so prudent investing is essential for real growth. 4. Guard your treasures from loss. Manage risk. Avoid guaranteed or too good to be true schemes. Seek clarity, transparency, and credible expertise before committing capital. Stick to what is understood. Be wary of ventures outside one's competence without trusted guidance and due diligence. Diversify and keep an emergency fund to avoid forced asset sales during downturns. 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment, be housing smart. Treat homeownership as part of a total financial plan, not a status symbol. Buy when stable, with conservative terms and a clear horizon. Consider strategies that reduce net housing cost, e.g., renting rooms or house hacking, when appropriate to improve cash flow and equity building. Ensure ownership doesn't crowd out retirement saving or essential diversification. 6. Ensure a future income, protect the long term. Contribute steadily to retirement accounts and build multiple income streams, investments, skills, side ventures, to safeguard later years. Use insurance, term life, disability, and estate planning as modern provisions against adversity, consistent with guarding wealth from unforeseen risks. Maintain a 3 to 6 month emergency fund to buffer shocks and preserve investment compounding. 7. Increase thy ability to earn, invest in skills. Prioritize upskilling through courses, certifications, and projects. Higher human capital accelerates the other cures. Seek promotions, negotiate pay, or cultivate side income aligned with expertise to expand savings and investment capacity. Learn core finance literacy so decisions improve over time, reinforcing the 5 laws of gold. The 5 laws of gold, modern risk and behavior blueprint. Save at least 10% consistently. Wealth flows to disciplined savers who build an estate for the future. Put money to profitable, understandable work. Compounding is the engine of growth. Favor cautious stewardship and wise counsel. Protect capital through prudent process. Avoid ventures not understood or lacking expert approval. Competence and diligence first. Reject impossible returns and hype. Resist tricksters, fads, and emotional speculation. Practical toolkit to operationalize the principles. Accounts and automation. Separate high-yield savings for emergency, automatic transfers on payday, and automated investment contributions. Budgeting. Tracking app or simple spreadsheet. Quarterly expense pruning, to keep spending is less than or equal to 90% of income. Modern success stories based on Arkad's principles. Below are concise, contemporary-style success stories that map directly to Arkad's 7 cures and 5 laws of gold, focusing on paying yourself first, controlling expenditures, making money multiply, guarding against loss, ensuring future income, and increasing earning power. These are illustrative composites reflecting widely reported outcomes from financial education and planning practices. 1. Pay yourself first turnaround, from overdraft fees to positive net worth. Situation. A salaried professional living paycheck to paycheck regularly incurred overdraft fees and had $0 emergency savings. Arkad principle applied, saved the first 10% of income automatically each payday and treated it as non-negotiable. Actions. Open a separate high-yield savings account, set automated transfers on payday, reduce discretionary spending to fit the remaining 90%. Outcome in 18 months, built a 4-month emergency fund, eliminated overdraft fees, and began automatic contributions to a diversified investment account. 2. Late starter catch-up, accelerated savings in the 40s. Situation. A 45-year-old with minimal retirement savings and moderate consumer debt. Arkad principle applied, a part of all I earn is mine to keep, paired with, make thy gold multiply. Actions. Directed 15% of pay to retirement accounts, increased 1% every quarter, used raises and bonuses to boost contributions instead of lifestyle. Outcome in 5 years, reached 6 months expenses in cash reserves, paid off debt, and built a 6-figure retirement balance, regaining financial resilience despite a late start. 3. The clay tablets method. Structured debt repayment that sticks. Situation. A family with multiple credit cards and variable income struggled to prioritize repayments. Arkad principle applied, the 20th of October 70 framework, live on 70%, save 10%, repay 20% to creditors proportionally with a written schedule. Actions. Listed every creditor, negotiated interest rates, set proportional payments, and preserved the 10% saving habit. Outcome in 24 months. Cleared high-interest balances, improved credit, and retained a durable savings habit to prevent relapses. 4. From idle cash to compounding, simple, diversified investing. Situation. A cautious saver sat on a large cash balance earning little interest due to fear of markets. Arkad principle applied, make thy gold multiply, through understandable, prudent investments. Actions. Built a written plan, invested steadily into low-cost diversified funds, automated contributions, reinvested dividends, avoided market timing. Outcome: over 7 years, portfolio growth significantly outpaced inflation. Volatility became manageable through discipline and a long-term lens. 5. Guarding treasures, walking away from guaranteed high returns. Situation: a young professional was pitched a guaranteed double-digit monthly return in a complex private scheme. Arkad principle applied. Laws 3 to 5, seek wise counsel, invest only in what is understood, flee impossible returns. Actions: requested audited financials, risk disclosures, and independent references, consulted knowledgeable advisors, declined due to opacity. Outcome: avoided a later uncovered scam, preserved capital, and redirected funds into transparent, diversified assets. 6. Housing that supports the plan, not sabotages it. Situation: a couple felt social pressure to buy quickly, risking being house poor. Arkad principle applied. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment, within a broader plan. Actions: delayed purchase until total costs fit a budget that still supported 15% plus saving, investing, targeted a conservative mortgage, kept a reserve for maintenance. Outcome: sustainable home ownership that complemented, rather than crowded out, long-term wealth building. 7. Ensuring future income, protecting human capital. Situation: dual income household reliant on 2 paychecks, with dependents. Arkad principle applied. Ensure a future income. Actions: built a 6-month emergency fund, obtained term life and disability coverage, and set automatic retirement contributions. Outcome: greater resilience to shocks, uninterrupted compounding through downturns or job transitions. 8. Skills flywheel, earnings growth funds higher savings rate. Situation: an analyst plateaued in pay and struggled to increase savings. Arkad principle applied. Increase thy ability to earn. Actions: pursued targeted certifications and projects, documented results, negotiated a raise, funneled new income into a higher automated savings rate. Outcome: savings rate rose from 10% to 25%, accelerated capital formation and confidence in financial decisions. 9. Small business owner, applying Arkad to enterprise cash flow. Situation: a freelancer with variable income and tax surprises. Arkad principle applied. Pay the enterprise first, control expenditures, guard against loss. Actions: allocated fixed percentages of each payment to taxes, reserves, and investments, maintained a lean expense base, kept a 3 to 6 month operating buffer. Outcome: smoother cash flow, fewer emergencies, steady investment growth despite variability. 10. Intergenerational impact, teaching PYF and prudence at home. Situation: parents wanted to break a family cycle of financial stress. Arkad principle applied. Save 1/10, invest wisely, avoid what you don't understand. Actions: set up allowances with percentage rules, save, invest, give, spend, match teen savings, and discuss the risks of too good to be true offers. Outcome: children formed early, automatic saving and investing habits, avoided predatory offers, built starter portfolios before college. How to replicate these wins? Automate first, route 10 to 20% of income to savings, investments on payday, let spending adjust to what remains. Keep expenses in check, use a simple budget, audit subscriptions, practice a 24-hour rule on non-essentials. Invest simply, favor diversified, low-cost funds, reinvest income, stick with a written plan to ride out volatility. Protect the downside, maintain an emergency fund, use appropriate insurance, demand transparency in any private deal. Be housing smart, buy only when the total monthly cost fits a plan that still preserves a strong savings rate. Grow income on purpose, target skills that measurably raise pay, direct each raise to higher automated savings. Use written schedules, for debts and investing, clarity and consistency build momentum and resilience. Digital investing inspired by Babylonian rules. Below is a practical, tool-driven playbook that translates Arkad's 7 cures and the 5 laws of gold into concrete steps for today's digital investing, automation, diversified portfolios, risk controls, and ongoing skill building, all aligned with credible modern explainers of the book's principles and current fintech capabilities. 1. Pay yourself first with automation. Set an automatic transfer of at least 10% of every paycheck into a separate savings or investment account before any spending, then gradually increase the rate. Consistency and automation are the key levers of this habit. Use banking, fintech automation, scheduled transfers, auto-invest, roundups to remove friction and decision fatigue, while staying mindful that automation must be monitored and adjusted when circumstances change. 2. Control expenditures to protect the savings rule. Build a budget that explicitly reserves the first 10% for savings, investing, and constrains spending to the remainder. This save first, then spend structure is the modern restatement of Arkad's first cure. Digital budgeting tools and alerts help sustain the habit, but the behavioral principle is the same: design spending around the automated savings, not vice versa. 3. Make your money multiply with simple, diversified portfolios. Channel automated contributions into understandable, diversified investments, e.g., broad index funds, and reinvest dividends, interest to compound, directly reflecting the second law of gold. Keep costs low and avoid complexity. Compounding requires time in the market with a repeatable process, not frequent tinkering or opaque products. 4. Guard treasures from loss with digital due diligence. Be skeptical of guaranteed or impossible returns and opaque schemes. Seek transparency, audited information, and knowledgeable counsel. Core to laws 3 to 5. Use modern verification steps, research, disclosures, reputation checks, and favor regulated, transparent platforms. Diversify rather than concentrating in a single risky idea. 5. Use fintech to operationalize Babylonian habits. Automation and integrated workflows now make it easier to execute pay yourself first, scheduled investments, and portfolio maintenance at scale. Leverage these capabilities but supervise them periodically. Fintech tools are reshaping money management, payments, portfolio management, one-click investing, enabling disciplined saving, investing behaviors consistent with Arkad's framework. 6. Housing within the overall plan. Treat home decisions as part of the broader cash flow and investing plan so the 10% plus saving, investing habit continues unbroken. Buy only when total costs fit the budget and risk controls. 7. Ensure a future income and resilience. Maintain emergency reserves and automate long-term contributions, retirement, goal-based buckets, so compounding is uninterrupted through shocks, aligned with Arkad's future income cure. Complement investing with appropriate protections, insurance, risk buffers to keep wealth compounding rather than being derailed by foreseeable risks. 8. Increase ability to earn, upskill alongside investing. Continuously improve earning power and financial knowledge. Higher human capital raises the investable surplus and improves judgment. Arkad's final cure, reframed for today's economy. Guardrails and common pitfalls in digital investing. Beware of automation complacency. Revisit transfers and allocations after life changes so the plan stays realistic and doesn't cause harmful cash shortfalls. Avoid forcing impossible earnings via leverage, exotic products, or social media hype. If returns sound too good to be true, they likely violate Law 5. Prefer simple, rules-based processes over ad hoc trades. Prudent, transparent, diversified investing is the modern embodiment of the 5 laws of gold. Quick Start Checklist, Babylonian Rules, Digital Tools. Turn on automated transfers for 10% plus of income to a separate account today. Increase by 1% every month or quarter until target is reached. Set auto-invest into diversified funds and enable dividend reinvestment. Add a calendar reminder for quarterly reviews. Create a minimal risk policy. Require transparency, understand the asset, diversify, and walk away from guaranteed high returns. Use fintech automation for bills, transfers, and alerts, but review monthly to avoid set and forget drift. Modern digital investment strategies based on Babylonian principles. Below is a concise, actionable playbook that translates Arkad's 7 cures and the 5 laws of gold into digital-first investing, automation, simple diversified portfolios, prudent due diligence, and disciplined reviews, grounded in well-documented summaries of the richest man in Babylon. Friends, if you love learning something new every day, you're in the right place. Light bulb here at Wisdomakers, we share powerful ideas, book summaries, and knowledge that can change your life. Brain, so don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now and become a true Wisdomaker today.